Welcome to Like Pigs in Space, an arts and culture podcast. I'm Aaron Mason,
And I'm Max Mason.
and I'm recording remotely again.
Yeah.
I mean, we are remote from each other, but I'm traveling, so in Baltimore. But
Nice.
yeah, it's kind of funny. I think about this because it's a whole week, generally speaking, before this comes out. So I could give very precise details about where I am, and it won't matter.
Right. Yeah.
So
there's your address and room number, and
right,
you'll be
right.
long gone before anyone gets there.
Yeah, somebody can come and find DNA evidence. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I am at the Baltimore Hilton that is right next to Camden Yard or Camden Park. It's the Orioles baseball team. And it's an old, one side of it is like an old brick building. So it's kind of a cool field. And we're going to go to a game tomorrow night. So
nice. Did you get good seats? Or
I have, actually, I don't know, but I did see that I got a ticket.
Okay.
And then tonight was Topgolf.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah. What is your first time doing Topgolf?
Yeah, it's my first time doing Topgolf, and it really was. It was enjoyable because it didn't matter.
Yeah.
You know, it was just hanging out with everybody. But
right.
What was fun is they had a left-handed golf club.
Oh.
As they just had one in the little array, and so I was doing terrible. And then I watched a couple other people, and this one guy was doing it. He kind of looked like, and I knew this from way back, but he was kind of sitting down, like it looked like he was squatting, but like kind of kept his back straighter.
Yeah,
you know, and then
right,
and so I replicated that in the last game, and I was getting some and keeping my eye on the ball, and I was getting some good hits in.
Nice.
Thinking, I could probably hit it. I used to be able to hit the ball pretty well, pretty hard.
Yeah.
When I was younger, and so then we're like, let's mess around. Let's do left-handed.
Mm-hmm.
And so I took the left-handed one. I just changed my grip, and bam! And I was really good. I wasn't as far a distance. But I was hitting it and getting it into the hole and thing. So I'm like, I should it was just, and it's fun, right?
Yeah.
And somebody said, hey, do you want to switch back? And I said, well, I'm not doing this for money. That's not my job. So this is fun to try this out. So I don't really care if I'm actually doing well. And it was going well. It wasn't, it wasn't like a world record setting, but I was hitting it. So which was really fun.
That's a fun characteristic I think we might share in that, like, so one time I went to bowling with Chloe's parents. And I don't like care about bowling that much, but the place we went to, I found out it would clock how fast you threw the ball, and I was like, that's the game now. I want to see how fast I can throw the ball. I don't care about hitting the pins, but I want to see how high a number I can get.
Right. Yeah, that's the fun thing is because it's gamifying the game.
Yeah.
And I like to see, especially when you can like mess the game up in a very specific way that it, like when you can create a glitch, especially in something that shouldn't be glitchable.
Yeah.
It's really fun.
Right. I think it's another thing so Chloe and I were at a wedding over the weekend, and they had some like slow dances, and I was reminded that like during church dances we'd have slow dances. I really like doing the thing where you would go and tag other couples, like with
yeah.
It's like that was more interesting to me than the dance.
Right
was the game of it.
Sure. And because that's the neat social part of it. That's and all this was, and the fun part was the people in the group was the boss.
Oh, okay.
It's the legal team, and
Mhm.
she's lead counsel
Ooh.
or head counsel or general counsel. Is that what it is? General counsel?
Oh.
Counsel something.
Something important.
So yeah, she's the boss of all the lawyers,
Okay.
and she's super super nice. Just not not a pompous lawyer boy. Like the last guy we had was a pompous lawyer boy, and so and I am in Baltimore, so you might hear trains, sirens, and horns.
Okay. I think I heard a little bit of a siren.
Yeah, there's a little bit of a siren. Anyway, so it's nice to also be with this group of people because I've worked with a lot of them. I think probably 75% of them I've actually worked with on a regular basis on different things.
Mm-hmm.
And so I know everybody there. And then we were going around telling how long they've been there. And she's been here 16 years.
Yeah.
And I've been here 14.
Oh.
And so I'm the second most senior person in the room.
Wow.
Yeah. Just sometimes only by a couple of years, but I think the next is 12. I think there's a couple of 12s, and then the rest of them were less.
Mm-hmm.
So that's fun too.
Yeah. Have you ever felt encouraged to get good at golf being in the corporate job? I guess it's maybe more a salesy thing, but
if I lived in Connecticut, where they actually play golf on a regular basis, I just don't have anybody. I could make it happen in Arizona. Obviously, there's lots of golf courses.
Yeah,
but it's not part of my. They don't play golf in India, really. I've never seen a golf course. That doesn't mean there isn't one, but I just haven't seen one. And then Mexico, it's not really a thing. So, and that's where I spend most of my time. The Midwest it's not really a thing in the Midwest so much.
Oh, okay.
I'm sure they exist. I'm sure I could force the issue.
Yeah.
But it's just not. It never comes up. So, however, I kind of like it. I do like playing sports, even if I'm not Mr. Sports person. So, so there you go. Is that enough of a dissertation on the?
No, yeah. It's
good. There's my theory on golf.
Yeah. I've gone to hitting practice before or something where you just have a bunch of balls and
driving range,
whatever. And I had a terrible time. I didn't hit anything.
And so that's part of it is maybe if somebody showed you the technique, that could make it more pleasurable. Because today I had a good time because I was watching people.
Yeah.
So that's cool.
Yeah. This is probably going a different direction than golf.
Okay. Good.
But I was thinking about this subject, and I think where I want to start with it is retellings.
Okay.
So kind of with how slightly related to last week when you asked if there has to be rules to art or something like the question. And you mentioned that there's so many types of stories that you just kind of generally fall into.
Right. Right.
And so I was thinking more about that, isn't the 7 types of stories is the famous list or something like that?
Yeah.
And about taking established storylines, maybe kind of changing the character, but overall the flow and the feel is about the same. And one of the books I read this year, I didn't realize until I'd finished that it's a retelling of Moby Dick.
Oh, cool.
And it's a book, Sky Daddy, which is about this woman who's obsessed with airplanes.
Oh,
but
that makes sense.
Even so much to the point where, a lot of books will have the quotes at the beginning. There's a quote from Moby Dick at the beginning of the book.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So not very subtle about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it seems that especially now there's a lot of shows that there's not a lot of shows that feel like they're wholly something new. They all feel like kind of
Right.
retellings in some way. Outside of just like the general shape of stories, a
Yeah.
lot of them are, retellings of things, or they're based on like Greek myths or some
Right.
stuff like that.
Right.
And not that all of them are bad or anything, but it is an interesting part of art. I don't know if it's like showing that your history or something, or if it's
Well,
just easier to connect with people if it's something that's already kind of in the consciousness.
there is that. I mean, we've talked about in the past how artists will, especially in music, will have certain musical progressions that are familiar,
Yeah.
and so that allows the people to have a connection instantly. And if you have new music, but you have a little interpolation of something that you've done before, then it signals you
Mm-hmm.
maybe that this is, we care enough to add this thing that
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
I did. It's kind of funny you bring this up because I saw somebody, some British actor, I don't know,
Mm-hmm.
but he did this reel, and it was probably 2 minutes worth of, if you've ever said this or done this or done this or said this way, you've been quoting Shakespeare.
Oh
and
yeah.
and it
Yeah.
kept going, and you're like, okay. And so some of it is maybe people think that they're coming up with an idea, and then they realize afterwards that it's a retelling,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
or somebody tells them, hey, that's not original, that's the story of such and such.
Yeah. That's how I felt about a lot of Beatles songs. Like every once in a while I'll hear a cover or like a version of it in a show or something. And I think the biggest one was in the movie Sing,
Okay.
with like all the animals doing the talent show.
Yeah.
It ends with a rendition of Golden Slumber. And I don't know why I had never heard it before, the original one. I was like,
Yeah.
that's fun. Like that's a fun song. I wonder where that, like, who wrote that. And it's happened a lot of times where it's always the Beatles.
Well,
They just
yeah,
wrote so much.
they they wrote so much that was listened to,
Yeah.
like that actually got play. Uh, there's a lot of artists that have written just as much music, but nobody's heard the as much of
Yeah.
a percentage of it.
Right. But yeah, I was thinking about that, and I think thinking about covers of songs, I don't really think of covers as like a retelling, but maybe more of like a reworking or like a recontextualizing something. Unless you do like a lyric change or something, which I'm usually not a huge fan of.
Yeah.
There's good examples, but
There's been a few that are okay.
yeah. But I think generally, like, I prefer to keep the lyrics the same.
Yeah.
But it's interesting how there's each genre kind of has their own reworkings and like
Yeah.
quotations built into it. Like a huge part of jazz solos, like improvised solos,
Sure.
is seeing what you can quote, what melodies you can throw into your improv.
Yeah. I think that this is just a little side note. I think that somehow your searches and your studying during the week pushes things to my feed.
Oh yeah.
And I have a very good example of this. It's exactly what you're talking about that got pushed to me this week.
Yeah.
But go ahead. I'll bring it up. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's like some other genres like hip hop and rap, sampling is a big thing.
Yeah.
It's interesting that there's not. I watched some video that was like, there's not really any rap covers though. Like that's so not. There's some quotations, but like rap music, you don't cover other rappers' stuff.
No, you allude to other songs, and you might pay homage and lift a lyric, like you said, because that lyric has a social and cultural meaning that emphasizes what you're trying. It's a keyword or key phrase to latch onto a meaning that it's associated with in the new song.
Yeah. And like it's pretty severe too. Like if you are kind of caught, what would be like covering somebody's bars, it can be like career ending.
Right.
Like especially in like rap battles, if you use a line that someone else has used, it's like instantly disqualifying.
Oh, wow.
Pretty much impossible to come back from.
Right. And it's almost funny. I bet you could write a whole structure to write a hip hop song. Like you have the MLA style of quoting your sources.
Yeah.
There is a definite way in which you can use lyrics, but you have to have an in-text quotation, basically.
Right.
Like Biggie said, da, da, da,
right.
Da.
Yeah.
So that's your $1,000 ideas to write the rules of rap, rap quoting.
The academic framework for rap quotations.
Yes. Your works cited was incomplete.
Yeah. But yeah, it's just it's different in each genre, but it's kind of, they all have their own thing. Jazz standards, everybody needs to know, hundreds of songs to really be in the jazz world. I think folk music is kind of similar, where you should know a lot of folk, and then just covers in general in any genre is very established.
I think in jazz and folk, especially in bringing those in, those are two genres where everybody, it's just expected that they will do a version of the canon of songs.
Yeah, right.
So everybody has in jazz, maybe everybody has a version of Birdland or something,
right? Yeah,
or some, or any of the big songs that you kind of don't know
will do like "This Land Is Your Land"
in folk. Yeah. So everybody's got it, and they'd even release them at the same time. Back in the 60s, it was ridiculous. They it was a funny thing.
Yeah. What was your thing?
somebody said this very famous rock song is quotes an 800-year-old tune. And it's a tune that is it's in Latin, but it's basically means that it's signaling the coming of death or something. But the tune is which is in Stairway to Heaven.
Oh, right.
But it's like an 800-year-old tune. It's exactly that, and it's been quoted everywhere. It was in Frozen 2. Yeah. They had that phrasing.
It sounds like the Dies Irae melody, which I think was in the Symphony Fantastique too. Like,
yep, that's the one. That's the song. That's it. You got it. So I was just cracking up. I'm like, Jimmy Page knew what he was doing, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
So
that's funny.
But yeah, exactly. And so he's making a very good use of an 800-year-old song.
Yeah.
So, but
that's cool.
Oh, that's funny that you knew. Oh man, you've got a good knowledge. So
a little, some stuff.
Some stuff
I can pick out. But I think that brings me to reharmonization, which I think is kind of a meeting point of all three of like retelling and reworkings and like a retextualizing, because it takes a story, which like the melody of something, and it will change the context, it'll change the chords, and maybe add a new narrative with like different harmony.
Okay.
Which is very big in jazz. Like it's been a big thing in jazz of taking popular like Broadway songs and reworking them in jazz. So like John Coltrane doing My Favorite Things.
Yes.
Or Bill Evans, who played with Miles Davis, he did a cover of the theme song from MASH.
Oh, okay.
The like Suicide is Painless.
Yes. Yeah.
Which is really funny to hear on like a nice piano song. I think that song in general is kind of funny, but how smooth it is for the title that it has.
It is, and then you realize there's also lyrics to it.
Yeah.
And yeah. The tune is handleable. The song with lyrics is a little bit heavy.
Yeah. Right. But yeah, I think it's really interesting to explore how harmony changes a melody and like changes even just the context of one note. I think like a really popular or like really like well-known example is in All by Myself. Right before the big finale, she's going up like, I don't want to be alone anymore. She hits that like anymore. But then when she goes up there, it's very kind of like desperate and kind of begging.
Right.
But then the context, the harmony shifts beneath her to where it sounds very like powerful and triumphant when she comes back down.
Yeah.
So it's really interesting. It's really fun to mess with how you can do that. And I think now it's almost like a meme in some music circles, like how much can you change the chords of a song before it's just unlistenable. And so I think it's been around forever. I think generally nowadays it was kind of introduced to people through the band Dirty Loops, which are from like 2011, and they did the same kind of thing. These like crazy reharmonizations of like Baby by Justin Bieber and Just Dance, things like that. But also shortly after, there was somebody else who did very similar things around 2013 or so.
Okay.
And that is Jacob Collier.
Oh, yeah. See, I got his stuff this week too.
Yeah. Yeah. So he started posting 2013, doing covers. But more. He did a lot of like Stevie Wonder songs.
Yeah.
Guess just a big influence for him. And did a couple other ones, but it wasn't until he did a cover of Don't You Worry About a Thing that kind of blew up, and that got the attention of like Quincy Jones. And then his career just kind of exploded out from there.
He's when they're doing it, he's got really good. He's got that thing where he can just say, and so just play this note, and he goes, and you're like,
yeah,
stop it.
Yeah, the perfect pitch is just not fair.
Yeah, it's yeah, I know you're pretty close, but but you can what the note is, like I
can figure it out pretty quickly. I have good like relative pitch, so if I hear a pitch, if I know what a pitch is and then I hear another one, I can pretty easily guess what that second one is.
Sure.
But it's not like immediately knowing just by with no reference.
Yeah, the one clip I saw was actually the other interesting thing about it is they were young musicians, but they were obviously very well acquainted with music too, because he also gave them a description. He goes, I want you to play this way, and gave the description of and then I want you to hit this note and this note and then do it like this, and he'd give the musical term.
Yeah.
And that's pretty those kids were pretty talented to be able to play it, and they didn't mess up. They did exactly what he said.
It's cool. It's cool to see it. Like I think I've seen a lot of people make fun of like how he'll do the audience choirs.
Yeah.
Just like get people sing notes. But Chloe and I went to a concert of his, and it was just him and piano, that he did that at, and it is cool to see, and it is a
Yeah,
unique experience that he's able to keep track of all these notes and
it
bring them to
is.
someplace.
What's it's a, his is more of a process and more parts.
Yeah.
The person that I really enjoyed seeing do it, making the audience build the song, and I think that is maybe more interesting at times,
Hmm.
is Bobby McFerrin.
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah.
he did, he does everything with mouth and body sounds.
Right.
His building a song thing is more kind of, the reveal is a little bit more interesting,
Yeah.
but it's not nearly as complex. It's maybe 3 parts instead of 14.
Right.
So it's different. It's
Yeah.
different.
Yeah.
So
Um so yeah, he has a very, unique style. Obviously the reharmonizing thing is very much built
right,
into his sound. Close harmony is a big thing where the notes are, it's just a lot of notes really close to each other instead of being like
right.
spread out. And then this big proponent or big fan of like microtonal stuff,
Yes,
mostly in like with just intonation. So basically all the music that we hear is technically out of tune with the physics of sound.
it is. Yeah,
Um, so the piano is kind of just a bunch of close enoughs to make it work, to make sure everything's even. But realistically, the notes are tiny, tiny portions of notes, percent of notes, smaller or sharper or flatter. And so
oh,
he'll do a lot of stuff with that where he sings notes smallest degrees flatter than they should be, just so they ring better
right,
with all the other
right.
notes. Which doing that by ear is ridiculous. That you can just hear that and know that, like, oh, that's 2 cents sharp. It should be 5 cents sharp, which is almost unperceivable.
Right. Right.
Um, and
Interesting.
so yes, he does stuff like that. There's he does a rendition of "In the Bleak Midwinter" Christmas song where he ends up in the key of G half sharp through some like little turns along the way.
Right.
And then rhythm is a big thing. Very uneven, wonky rhythms.
Yes.
Very syncopated, very like dense rhythmically, which is fun to hear. I think it takes a lot from a lot of different countries' rhythms because a
Okay.
lot of them are not as granular as ours are.
Yeah.
So he does a cover of "In My Room" where he has a shaker sound that kind of feels like an egg rolling. So
Yeah.
if you can envision that like kind of uneven roll of an egg in like a shaker sound.
Yeah. Because I think there's a lot of that it was kind of brought to the forefront when Paul Simon did Graceland, and they had
Mm-hmm.
more. I'm going to generalize it with African beats. I can't remember where they're from. It might be more southern country in Africa, some of the artists.
Mm-hmm.
But then he did another one that was more Brazilian beats.
Oh yeah, yeah,
And it was, they'd have this kind of spin. It gave motion because it was a kind of an off. It was kind of off, 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 and it made it
yeah.
have motion. Um, yeah, there is that, and there's another song. I was listening to it today because it's a guy that I need to send you some of his stuff, but it's Nina Simone.
Okay.
There's a song. It's called Sinner Man. It's about 10 minutes long, but there's a clapping part in the middle of it where they're just like, a bunch of clapping in a row.
Yeah.
And it starts off and the claps are just not on the beat, but
Right.
it's really jarring. But then they do kind of like the Macklemore and Ryan Lewis song. The what's that called?
That can't handle this.
Yeah, that one. That's that clapping
Oh
part
yeah, yeah.
at the beginning. I think that's a sample
Hmm.
because it gets to being like that, and it's been sampled in some other rap songs and stuff. But at first, it's just the claps are kind of coming in, and it works in the song because it's kind of a building thing, and the claps get started,
Mm-hmm.
and and it's funny as you hear them start to sync up.
Yeah.
It's a really interesting piece. I mean, it's almost more interesting the watching them kind of start to catch up. It's like when you see the pendulum in a row, and
Yeah. Yeah.
they all of a sudden get in alignment. That's what those clappings is a similar alignment, and then all of a sudden it's a bunch of them
Yeah.
in a row.
That's
So
really cool.
yeah, I think you'd really. I'll send you a couple of things because I think you'd like. I think you like that song. But
But yeah, so he goes on, does a couple albums, wins a couple Grammys. What's always been really interesting is that he is not secretive about his
yeah,
process.
yeah,
He'll tell you exactly what he's doing, but then no one else can really do it still.
yeah,
Like, I think there's a part in the music video for All Night Long where there's some really weird chords and he shows them on screen, like, these are the chords as they're happening, and it's like just totally giving it
okay,
away, really. But it's
yeah.
like, and then no one still does anything really like it.
I
um
think it's hard to figure that out if your mind doesn't work that way.
yeah.
Hard to figure out how to use it.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So all that goes on until June 13th of 2019, where he releases the music video for his arrangement of Moon River,
Okay.
which comes from Breakfast at Tiffany's.
Right.
Um,
Right.
and I don't know, I haven't seen the movie. I don't know if you have any insight
Oh
about
yeah.
it, but
It's a great movie except for there's some ethnic stereotype
mm,
characters
yeah.
that are played by white actors that's a little bit problematic. And
Mm,
if you leave those out, it's a great little love story. It's just a love story.
yeah.
Um,
Okay.
and Breakfast at Tiffany's is like Tiffany's like the jewelry
The
store.
okay.
Yeah,
Nice.
not a girl named Tiffany.
Yeah. But yeah, Moon River itself is a very beautiful
Yeah.
song. But his arrangement of it is 8.5 minutes long.
Oh,
The recording session for it is like the Logic. He uses Logic Pro, the same thing I use. So if you've ever seen me, all the tracks
yeah.
laid out, his recording session has over 500 different tracks.
Oh,
When like the
wow.
most I've done is like 30.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
And like I think it's about 5,000 separate used takes. Like,
Oh,
so it's not
wow.
even takes that he's like saying something and then deleted it and saying it again. This is 5,000 ones that he did use
And
that are
layered it up.
in the song.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
So at the time, I think it was his largest recording, like one of the biggest projects he's done, and it was recorded, mixed, mastered by him. And what's not fair is that it was all done in 1 week. So it was a week where he's like, I didn't work on anything else. Usually I'm working on a lot of things, but this
Yeah.
week I just worked on this song and didn't leave the room until it was done.
Oof.
And it was also completely improvised.
Oh, wow.
So with a lot of his early arrangements, and he would work out the sheet music for it, sing the parts, then film the music videos and do that. With this one, and also songs like his arrangement of You and I, he just took the melody and just figured out the chords along the way.
Gotcha.
So this one, he did the same thing. He's kind of like, I'm just going to see where it goes, see what notes are there. I don't really, not even thinking of chords. I'm just thinking of what notes need to be there.
Right. So the doppelganger for that, or the whatever you want to call it for him in a different art form would be Charlie Chaplin.
Oh, yeah.
Is what it sounds like. So There's two films. That they came out roughly the same time. So one of them's Birth of a Nation, and it's a horrible, horrible film.
Yeah.
But it's like 4 hours long, something like that.
Yeah.
So black and white silent film, 4 hours long, and it's about the Klan celebrating it. And then at the same time, I think it was Modern Time. No, was it The Kid or Modern Times? One of the Charlie Chaplin films.
Yeah.
And both of them, and that one's like an hour long, maybe less. I think that Charlie Chaplin exposed more film to make the hour-long bit than D.W. Griffiths did to make his 4+ hour epic.
Oh.
Because Griffiths would work out, storyboard it, whatever, and then shoot once. And why this is like Collier is Chaplin would work it out on film.
Oh, wow.
He'd film it. Does that work? Does that, I'm going to film it and then watch it, film it, then watch it. And it sounds like I'll try it. I'll keep this many, I'll keep this take, whatever.
Yeah.
So he's working it out as he's going.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I like that process. Sometimes it's hard for me to do that, but I like the process of just like, I'm just going to get all the ideas out and I will work on refining it later.
Yeah, that's what I've been doing for what I've been writing lately. I have the beginning of an idea and I finish the page of the poem and I go, okay, there's parts of that I got right. But I got the idea and I didn't lose the idea. So, but that's really interesting.
Yeah. So yeah, I kind of just wanted to go over it a little bit because I think it's really great. I think it's really impressive, and I think there's a lot to it that is really interesting while still being a very like listenable song. Like, as dense of all this like theory and stuff that goes into it, it doesn't sound overwhelming.
Right.
Like something like that could sound. He did a live stream of it where he kind of broke down all the little bits and things he went into. So I do get a lot of info from that, but because some of it is just like, unless he's like singling out parts, it's hard to tell that those parts are there because there's so many other parts around it.
Right.
So when you first listen to the song, the first minute and a half or so is actually not him entirely. He had like friends and family and collaborators and just people he knew all send him a video of them singing Moon in the key a B flat, and so he just got 150 basically notes that he then arranged into like this soundscape at the beginning of the song, which is pretty cool. It's like a really fun idea. Just be like, this is what I got. I can't record anything else. I'm gonna make it work.
Right.
And there's a lot of people in there. There's like, Quincy Jones and Herbie Hancock, and then there's like Charlie Puth is in there, and then a bunch of his friends from like MIT. Who's like,
because he's a talented Jacob Collier's friends from MIT or Charlie Puth's?
Jacob Collier's. He didn't go there, but he just has friends who I think helped him with like his live show, getting the technology to work for it.
Nice.
But yeah, lots of people. When you actually hear the album version of it, it's kind of condensed into a more like soundscape instead of hearing the individual parts in the music video. So it is, if you want to listen to two different versions of it, that it exists. But yeah. So that's how it starts. And then after that it's kind of, the whole thing is kind of 4 verses, even though he just repeats the lyrics.
Yeah.
The first verse is pretty much entirely hums. He's just humming the word moon. It's very soft and very flowing. And there's more of a focus on just the dynamics of things. It's out of time. It's just feeling, taking breaths. He said that once he finished recording in it, the last thing he did is he went through the entire song and just added breaths of him just like just as a texture.
Cool.
I really
neat.
like I really with like the theme songs that I've been recording for this, I've tried to be a little more in tune with like my own natural rhythm, so I haven't used a metronome when recording, which I don't know if my rhythm is always the best. It takes a lot of takes to stay in time. What I usually end up doing is just recording like a rough recording of the whole thing and then try my best to stick along with that. And then I just, delete it at the end once I have all the good takes. And
that's cool.
Yeah, it's nothing is really too complicated in this part. There's nothing too, harmonically confusing or anything. But as it's going along, you get these things he calls them pyramidings, where it's like he's singing one note, it's like boom, 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 but they just kind of hold out. There's probably other words for it. He just called it pyramiding. But it's just another thing just to give kind of a little more motion, a little more color. And then the ending of the first verse ends with these like kind of Christmassy bells. That's even though it's all a cappella, it's just kind of like boom, sounds. And then you get the sudden, weird, tricky chords, this like contrary motion where like, so is what it sounds like when there's two notes and they're moving in opposite directions as it goes along.
Okay.
So the bass line is going like boom, 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 just like going down, while the top note is like singing up. And then what he did is just kind of fill in the notes in between.
Okay. That's it's that ability to see where the notes belong.
Yeah.
That is truly amazing.
Yeah. I think I've tried that before. I don't know if when I wrote this song, it might have been before this came out, but I like the idea of having a melody and writing the bass line first and then figuring out everything in between. I did like a sheet music version of Sound of Silence where there was like a choral part, and I've figured out this like weird ascending bass line to fit with the melody, and then just found the right notes in between it. They're not like the craziest notes ever.
Yeah.
But it is a fun kind of, exercise to see what works, what doesn't, what looks, fun to sing for each part, but still fits in, doesn't sound bad altogether.
Do you think that was part of how you were able to create sheet music for songs in high school, is that you were just putting, filling in what notes made it sound right? Like it sounds like you were doing that, but for a full, these are the notes this instrument should be playing.
Right. That is usually what I would do, is just a lot of times I wouldn't be figuring out the chords on my own, but I would have to choose how to divide them up and which part fits best with which instrument.
That's cool. Yeah. Because I know that different instruments play in different keys or whatever, they're
ranges.
Different. I know it's like, oh, we can't play this song because it's not a bass clef or whatever. You had all kinds of restraints, like we have to transcribe that if we're ever going to play it or whatnot. So it's fun that is. Yeah.
In college, we had in the orchestra, there was a lot of bass players, and they wanted to do a hymn during church of just basses.
Okay.
All together. And I was like, well, we could do that, but we're going to have to write it out into something, because if we just read the music as it is, it's going to sound terrible.
Yeah.
Because you're all super low, super bassy. You need to spread things out. And so I tried to do that, and then they didn't want to, and I didn't want to really take part in it. And then I heard it a couple weeks later of them just playing the sheet music straight, and it was just muddy. It was bad.
Yeah.
Even though they did play a little higher up on some of the strings, like in higher positions, but it just wasn't. It didn't. Taking choir music and moving it all to double bass doesn't translate.
Yeah. Exactly. That's so.
You have to be a little more careful.
Yeah, you have to give it some effort with you because you understand that this was designed for a different instrument entirely.
Yeah.
And you do have to make adjustments.
So yeah, that's the first verse. Very calm, very quiet. There's a few like, rises and falls, but it's pretty much just getting you into the mood of the song until there's that big weird chords. You get a key change, and you finally start singing the words at this point.
Oh, cool.
And a lot of this is basically just like the lyrics and a little bit of lower harmonies and then textures throughout a lot of it. So just singing a lyric and then kind of just improvising a little run here or there. There's a lot of like gospel influence at this point. A lot of call and response, things you would kind of expect in like an a cappella song.
Yeah.
But just all the ideas all at once.
And he makes it work?
Yeah, and he makes it work. It does, as like, it also feels very like free and flowing, but in a different way where it's just like, letting every whim kind of out at that point instead of like staying calm and feeling the melody.
Right.
A lot of like word painting, which I love in music. It always is. I always think it's great. He gets to the lyric where it's the lyric is dream maker, and there's a lot of like really quick pyramidings going like boom, boom, boom. And in the chording he shows like very low down in the mix he actually has some bubbles popping.
Well, that's okay, that works. That's funny.
Like it sounds like he's doing it well enough in the voice, but he's just like, I just felt like it needed a little more, so I just added some bubbles.
That's so wild. That's so interesting that you can take kind of random sounds and maybe you can understand the note that this discarded stuff is, bubbles make a certain tone. That's a sound that you wanted in that doesn't destroy it.
Yeah.
And
I wonder if sometimes it's like so he did win a Grammy for this song too, but he won it for like a cappella, like only voice. And I wonder if he just like giggles to himself, like, well, it's not just voice.
Yeah.
There's other points later on where there's actually like timpani way down in the mix and like bass drum hits.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, it's actually not really a cappella, but it just feels a cappella.
Well, I think what's interesting too, and is that because there's a few artists that have a cappella songs, and there is a difference in how those are laid out than just a regular song. To make like, if you sing a pop song a cappella, it may not work as an a cappella song unless you work on it.
Yeah.
Right. But something like Tom's Diner is written in such a way, performed in such a way that it works as a cappella. And then there's a couple of Billy Bragg songs, but there's some extra sounds that help make a cappella song much better, more interesting. Whatever the qualifier is, it helps it become better because it's written with the consideration that it's going to be sung a cappella.
Right.
So,
yeah, it is cool. I wanted to try writing stuff for just a cappella. I haven't done it before, but it does seem like a unique challenge because you have to deal with how much a person can sing a note when like on a instrument you can bow a note back and forth and keep the same stuff going on forever. Or like with an organ or something, you can just have it keep going. But it is interesting. It's I want to maybe try doing that more. But yeah, it goes on. There's some like more decorations. He gets this like big kind of gospel, like whoa, 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 just like fun stuff. At the end he kind of hits that final chord. The notes kind of fall off. Like it almost feels like it's the end of the song for a minute, where it's just like we hit it and it's just like everyone's kind of cheering or just like dropping the note for a moment. And then he takes a little section of the main melody and develops it for a couple of bars. It starts like very mysterious about where it's pointing, because it's not the exact right notes. It's more like the gesture of the notes.
Yeah.
And adding voices and unfolding, and it becomes this like big, like really like traditional chord, something you'd find in like Baroque music or something, just like this big moment. It kind of feels like an organ with all the stops pulled out, and which is it was really cool feeling, like getting blasted by a full organ.
Yeah.
But reasonably it's pretty simple. But then there's another key change. He does a lot of key changes, which it just goes up a little bit, which is common. It's all over the place. Yeah. It's very exciting. This one's interesting though, because he goes up a quarter tone instead of a half note, which is very common. He goes up in between two notes that would be on the piano.
Oh, okay.
So I think he's in D. He goes to D half sharp, which you wouldn't expect. It doesn't feel like you're going into a microtonal key. It just feels like, oh, this is exciting. It's raising up a little bit.
Yeah.
But it's a little like uncanny almost, because like you never hear those notes. Whenever I listen to it in like on a speaker on these like nicer headphones, it feels like they're not used to hearing those notes either.
He even does that in that little performance that I saw kicked out to me. He does that. This, but just a little bit, and he's half somewhere in the middle there.
Right.
That probably can't be played on piano very well, but it can be on a string instrument or something like that, because they can kind of finagle.
Yeah, they can get the little notes, and so it's just kind of a new interesting palette, even though it's still using a lot of like Western and jazz harmony. It got me thinking about something I learned about in college. It was this book published by a guy named Christian Schubart in 1806, and the title is something like The Ideas on Aesthetics of Tonality. So before equal temperament, like how the piano is set up, was adopted, most keyboards were tuned to be really in tune in one key or in a couple of keys, but not in all of them.
Right.
And so this guy wrote out like how each of like the 24 different keys, so all the major minor keys, how they all felt and how they all should be used.
Wow.
And that's how a lot of them were used. So things like C major, it's longer than this, but he wrote like quiet, pure, innocent, simplicity. But C minor said it was a declaration of love, but lamenting unrequited love.
Okay.
One that's really funny is B flat major is like cheerful love, but B flat minor, it's an oddity and preparation for suicide.
Oh no. Yeah.
So a lot of music was written. I don't know how widely this was like adopted, but a lot of music was written to feel a certain way in certain keys because the notes would actually sound different in different keys.
Yeah.
Nowadays, there's no real reason for that because everything is generally the same. There's no like objective reason something in G major sounds different than something in A major.
Okay.
But they do feel different just because of that context. Kind of like a tritone is seen as like very devilish and like it inspires Satan. But really, there's nothing about it that really is. It's difficult to sing by like Gregorian monks.
Yeah.
when some of that stuff was established, and there's like some songs that use it in kind of devilish context, but also like the tritone is like the beginning of The Simpsons. It's like The Simpsons.
Yeah.
Or Maria in West Side Story.
Yeah. Do you think location, if the monks are writing that kind of stuff, do you think it's you know, that's what there's some locational things that inspired that tonality. If they're in a monastery and they're coming up with something, the way it vibrates off, and it kind of gives that tritone because they're singing and it's bouncing off a wall. There's a sound coming back, and they're creating that just because of the location that they're in.
I think, yeah, some of it can be like if it's it doesn't resonate as well as other notes.
Right.
And so it can maybe be used in a context that isn't supposed to feel as joyous or hopeful.
Right.
But yeah, it's interesting how much music and really how much everything is built on just like hundreds of years of just it being used in certain ways. But yeah, so all that is to say that like objectively it shouldn't feel different, but it does because it's this new key you never really hear anymore.
Right.
When he actually gets into it in the third verse, it's very bold and very full. Everything is very filled out. It would be like a 25 part choir, really. So not just like 25 people, but like 25 different notes and lines to sing.
Wow, that's wild.
And it sounds great. I mean, it's very. I think it's supposed to be that way to plant you in this new, unheard of key, just for a little bit, so you don't feel totally weirded out. But there is stuff. There's some fun chords, some fun movement. There's like he does kind of like a round in one of the voices where it's like this cascading thing. But it's like offset by a couple notes, so it sounds like I don't know. It's just a fun to see. But then on the lyrics, Dreammaker and Heartbreaker, he does these like stack ups of like everyone coming in.
Okay.
First one is done in fourths, which is a very like uncommon sound. Most of our stuff is built on thirds, so hearing a chord that's built on fourths, it's very alien, just kind of fun. But then on the Heartbreaker, he stacks up. Not that I think he wanted to do this, but he breaks it down, and it's a B flat chord on top of a C chord, C major chord on top of a flat minor chord on top of a D chord, which none of those really work together. It's just a vibe. And then there's these like microtonal voices. So instead of like dividing up the notes how they are, he divides them up. If it's like, I don't know, E flat and C. I don't know if that's what he's singing, but there's 4 notes there, but he divides it up into like 6 notes.
Wow.
And then he has other voices that are like dividing it up into 7 notes and moving towards each other. So you get these like just unheard of intervals. But it's so fast. Like it happens so quickly. He doesn't dwell on it at all. And so you're just kind of confused until there's like these more runs and these cascades. Kind of feels like you're doing a slide down a piano.
Yeah.
Until you land in this like big, fat, heavy chord, which is it's funny to hear him talk about this because it was so improvised. He's not totally aware of what the chords are until he's like talking about it, and he plays it and he's like, well, it's this and you could call it this, but what's the point? Like that's not what I'm going for. I'm going for a feeling. So like if you want to know the name of it, this is the name of it, but that's not what I'm thinking.
Right. That's funny.
And then
so you think he discovered that afterwards, or
I think he discovered it as he was doing this live stream about it.
That happens too. Wow. Okay.
There's a little quotation of "Take My Breath Away," which is funny. It's funny because the melody doesn't do it, but it is like responding to it.
Oh, weird.
So he's going like the lyric is "I'm going your way," so it's like "I'm going your way." That's kind of how he does it. And in the tenors somewhere, it's actually singing the melody. It's the "Take My Breath Away." But it's interesting that like the main melody is responding to a melody that you don't actually hear fully. So it goes on. It changes keys kind of suddenly, but it's so weird that it feels like you're totally sure yet that you've changed keys until it drops into another like big kind of hit of a chord. It's super bassy too. Like he has an effect on his voice to like drop his voice even lower just to get a that big full sound.
Oh, wow.
But yeah, it's fun to see his like harmonic language because it's just everything randomly. So like obviously a lot of jazz, but then it'll be jazz, and then a couple seconds later it's gospel, and then a couple seconds later it's like show tunes and like R&B music. And so it's the only thing really stopping him is how much he wants to do any given moment.
Right. That's good. Because he can just keep pushing that, because he's really not, there's not a whole lot of anybody doing similar things right now.
Yeah. So that's something I've been trying to do more about, things that I've written. I tuned Chloe's guitar into like an open tuning.
Okay.
Just because I never do that really. But I just wanted to see what it was like. And I've been getting a lot of ideas, and I'll get ideas that aren't like, complex jazz harmony, but it's like, this is a very like kind of poppy idea. And then like a more like emo idea, and then like a country idea, just kind of happening all in the same song. But it works, and it works because it's an honest attempt, or honest, you're coming to it just wanting to make something unique, not trying to blend genres in to seem interesting. You just know all this language, and it just comes out of you like that.
That's good. That's interesting.
Yeah, it's good. It's going on until he gets into verse 4, where it starts, where it's a lot of it is kind of built around one long note being held at the top.
Oh, weird.
For pretty much the rest of the song. And what's crazy about it is that it's rising too. Like,
oh, weird.
You're listening to it and it's rising in pitch, and you don't notice at all, which is just is weird. It got me thinking for a moment. This might be not totally related, but I think it goes into how this verse plays out. Have you heard people talk about A equals 432?
No, what's that?
So generally music is tuned to A equals 440, which is like the number of hertz.
Okay.
Somewhere in the middle, that's the A, somewhere in the middle piano. So like if you hear orchestra tuning up, they'll play out that one long note, and everyone tunes that. That's A440. A432 is this theory that it is more in tune with the resonance of the planet, and thus better for you to listen to stuff like that.
Okay. I've seen videos like to go to sleep too.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a long history of orchestras all over Europe kind of tuning higher and higher, some starting out around like 400 and others getting up to like 450.
Okay.
Orchestras. Verdi liked 432, but it wasn't because of any sort of like in tuneness with the planet. It was a good compromise between being in a brighter key and also not straining out the singers too much.
Oh, interesting.
So like when you hear things compared to like 440, 432, you're going to hear, and you hear the 432, it's going to feel warmer and a little more cozy, because it's like the opposite of going up a key at the end of a song that feels more exciting and bright.
Right.
So that's the only thing. It's kind of like a music flat earth theory. Where like any kind of theory or like math that you look into that people kind of claim proves that it's right doesn't hold up at all.
Oh no.
It's really just a thing. It's just a different feeling. It feels warmer because things that go down in pitch feel warmer.
Okay.
So that all that is to say, that's kind of what Jacob is doing here in the opposite, where this note is being played out. It's surrounded by a lot of dark harmony to like kind of make it feel a little more trapped. There's some like Wagner voicings and like in what he's doing to like around the context of the note. But as it rises, just the tiniest bits that you can't even really tell. It's not a slide. It's actually like going up incrementally, but everything kind of follows it in like different sides of the choir, different sides of the mix, dividing up the lyrics, and the chords are kind of rising too with this pedal tone at the top, and so it's kind of like a double brightening of like the key rising, but also this note like subconsciously rising, and it's even more so because the vowels that he's singing are opening too, and so instead of being like, it's like starts with oohs and goes to ahs, so it's like a triple brightening in the tone of the chords. Which is crazy. Like it feels, you really feel like this opening, this like sunny feeling towards the end of it, and all that. It sounds very crazy, impossible, experimental stuff, but it just feels very beautiful. It feels very comfy and harmonic, and it arrives. It is like this big chord where it kind of arrives, and then we get a final bit of the last note that's very Jacob stuff of just taking one note and harmonizing it in all the different ways possible until you get to the last final huge note. It's 72 voices. The basses are doubled again, so it's 2 octaves lower. Cool. And you just get hit by it, and then that's it.
So do you, I thought of something. I guess it's not important. I had a question and it left, but that's okay.
Oh, that's okay.
That's really interesting. The build on it, the coming together, and how just to be able to hold all that kind of in your head is I'm sure he used the previous recordings as frames of reference and harmonized with those as well. But a lot of the stuff I've seen him do, he's not got a lot of notes.
Right.
So I mean, to himself, like play this and play this, play this. He's in it. He knows. Yeah, it's really interesting. When he's doing concert that you went to, does he have stuff pre-programmed, or does he have an orchestra, or how's that work?
So the one I went to was right before he did a big like US tour where he had a band with him.
Okay.
So other musicians there, as far as I know, there's nothing that's programmed. He does when he was doing his like solo tour. I think there was some stuff, but a lot of it was just loops.
Yeah, because and he's getting the audience to participate and things like that.
Yeah, and like he created like a special keyboard to kind of mimic all like kind of like a vocoder effect, but a little cleaner, so it sounds like a full choir. But this one that we went to was just him and piano.
Okay.
And so there wasn't anything. I think he'd done like a class. It was in Eugene. I think he'd done a little class at the college earlier that day.
Oh.
Because a lot of people there were, I think, from that same class. They got like special tickets or something.
Go away.
We got pretty good seats.
Yeah, you don't appreciate it. Go away.
Yeah. But yeah, it was just him and piano, and mostly just doing covers of songs he liked. He did a really good one of Use Me by the guy who does Ain't No Sunshine When She's Gone.
Yeah, Bill Withers.
Yeah. So he did a version of Use Me.
Oh, that's a good song too.
Yeah. It was great. It was really cool. It was very high energy and just like slamming his hands on the keyboard. It was great.
Wow.
But yeah, I think he's very influential in kind of opening my mind to harmony, about like where it can go and what you can kind of do with it, and also how you can abuse it. And I think he's just very talented and very fun to watch.
Yeah,
And
I
I
think
think
so.
a very positive person too, like very much just wants people to enjoy music and enjoy singing. And
Yeah, that's why. I mean, it's always like you expect all these shows to be done in the as a school assembly.
yeah, yeah,
It's just a wholesome, nice event. So
hmm
yeah, I agree.
yeah.
Cool. That's neat.
But yeah, that's the song. I just think I think it's great. I think did a great job with it.
Yeah.
I think like with some of his other earlier arrangements, they were more focused on like how much jazz harmony he can use, and this one
Yeah.
is very like tasteful and very enjoyable
Yeah.
throughout it. And I just think it's great.
So to tie it back in, right?
Yeah.
You're talking about retelling,
Mm-hmm.
and I think that song covers, I think, are very either you're straightforward, you're covering it,
Yeah.
which is kind of boring.
Right.
I can understand somebody doing a straight cover lift if they're throwing it in as an encore on a live show.
Yeah.
That's
Sure.
probably the place for it, where you don't get too cute with it. But then you have these things like you're talking about with the song that is this complete retelling of that
Mm-hmm.
song,
Right.
and I think that's really uh, that's where things get interesting. That's where
Yeah.
that's where the value lies, is in those. That was the other real number 14 that you pushed to me that you didn't know you did. But it was some guy talking about his review of the Odyssey.
mm-hmm.
He goes, but he hadn't seen it yet. He's like, I don't, I'm probably going to go see it, but I don't, I already seen the, it's a remake of the best retelling, "Oh Brother, Where Art Thou?" And
Oh yeah.
so,
Yeah.
and there's been a few things like that. There's a few standout items like that. Like you don't think, "Oh Brother, Where Art Thou?" is the Odyssey, but it is. Or
Yeah.
there's the book Heart of Darkness by Joseph Conrad. That they made movies called Heart of Darkness. They a couple of them trying to do the book.
Yeah.
Uh, but the best version of Heart of Darkness is Apocalypse Now.
Mm-hmm.
So like that's the best retelling, and
Yeah.
it's not a straight faithful thing, but it gets the point across better. Just like I think "Oh Brother, Where Art Thou" is a little bit more approachable and gets the story across maybe a little bit better, and you understand why people did what they did. So
Right. Yeah.
uh,
Yeah. I
yeah,
think it's really I like it's hard to find good covers that are interesting,
yeah,
but when you find them, I think it says a lot about the artist
yeah,
themselves more than the song, like what they can do with a song
yeah,
and their own personal like feelings about the song.
yeah.
I think is really it shows who is more talented or more artistic than people just doing a faithful rendition of a track.
Yeah, when it becomes theirs, like
Yeah.
my favorite is one of my favorites is when Cake does "I Will Survive."
Yeah.
They're almost not the same song,
Right.
and they do sound similar, but that's definitely a Cake song,
Yeah.
Not Cake covering a song. Somehow they've transcended it.
Yeah. I can still like never think of Higher Ground as a Stevie Wonder song
Oh yeah, yeah,
cuz the
Eh,
one they do is just so completely different and the
yeah,
Chili
and
Pepper one.
it is. It is and it isn't, but it still is very much the Chili Peppers, right?
Yeah.
It's it's not even that far off, and just like Cake, it's not even that far off. But there's something about it that
Mhm.
changes ownership when they do it.
Yeah.
So That's really cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
I mean, there's some famous other versions, but I think those are worth noting because the original was already a huge song.
Right.
You know, when you talk about how the Cyndi Lauper "Girls Just Want to Have Fun" is actually a cover, who cares?
Mhm.
Because it wasn't a hit. You know,
Yeah.
it's you know, she gave it life. That's her song because it wasn't anybody else's before that. Even though it was,
Yeah.
it wasn't a hit. It wasn't a big, huge thing. Yeah, so it's the same but different. But with those other songs, they were big already.
Mm-hmm.
So that's really cool. I like that.
But,
I don't know if you were going to tie it in that way, but it came across to me that way.
But yeah, I encourage you to anyone go check it out. It's great. It's a lot of fun. I think it's a good introduction to his style.
Yeah. Well, good. Thank you for that. I think it's a topic that deserves the conversation. I think Jacob Collier deserves a lot more conversation. I know people know who he is and that he's getting recognition, but he's very, very talented. He deserves it. So.
Yeah.
Well, good. Well, with that, you've been listening to Like Pigs in Space, an arts and culture podcast. This has been Aaron Mason.
And this is Max Mason.
And we really appreciate you listening. And have a great week.
See ya.